Hello, I'm the Dynamic Duover.
I'm Death Dealer Films.
And welcome to another Flash review. Today we shall be reviewing The Fastest Man Alive, Episode 2 of The Flash, Season 1. So you shall begin.
Alright, so we start at
A burning building
a burning building, and Barry
is saving the people.
Is giving a monologue on how fast he can run.
And saving the people at the same time.
And Cisco gets caught talking by Caitlin Snow.
And realizes what they've been doing, and Caitlin doesn't approve of the idea of Barry risking his life catching ordinary criminals.
So, during this time, Barry is getting these...
dizzy spills.
Which basically means he's not eating enough glucose in his diet.
Yeah, which we discover later. Then after he saves the people and Caitlin tells that he shouldn't do this, he goes and helps Iris, journalist course, yes.
But yeah, we of course, basically.
So Barry and Iris goes to the speech that this person named Steg, in charge of his own lab, is getting a Man of the Year award. Then our villain of the week, Multiplex, attacks the award show, and Barry saves a security guard and then tries to go after Multiplex.
Does not work out. He ends up fainting.
Yes.
Soon after he faints, Iris finds him, brings him, and Joe is very stern.
Yeah, Joe's there, and he doesn't like how Barry's trying to be a hero. And we also get flashbacks to when Joe was taking care of Barry when his dad went to prison.
We see one of Barry running, and a cop car pulls up, and we get Joe. Joe is not impressed. Joe brings him home. Barry tells Joe that
he's not his dad, that he doesn't... Yeah, and he hates him.
And then he runs up to his room.
Yeah, the reason why Barry doesn't like Joe at this moment is because he won't allow him to see his father in jail. Because Joe right now thinks Barry's father, Henry Allen, murdered Nora.
Joe won't let
Barry continue on this path. Tells him that this is a job for the police, not for him. So Eddie and Iris are still hiding their relationship from Joe.
Not very well.
Yeah, and this doesn't really go anywhere. This is just like a side plot. Not very important. So Eddie and Joe head to Steg's labs, trying to help him. Then Multiplex attacks again. Barry goes to the rescue, and he rescues Joe, who just tells Barry to leave, but he gets Joe out.
And then goes back in to fight Multiplex, and then gets...
Yeah, he gets beat up.
Yeah.
So, then, Barry realizes Joe's right. He tells everyone that he quit Star Labs right after they discover why he's having these dizzy spells. He's not eating enough food, basically.
Glucose. So...
Yeah.
Breads and sugars.
Yeah, because right now his
glucose levels are down, and it's causing dizzy spells.
Yeah, because of how fast he is moving.
And when you're moving, your glucose is helping you move, but it's deteriorating, so his cells aren't gaining that.
Yeah, and then we see another flashback of Barry getting to the prison where his father is, and Joe arrives, and Henry tells Barry that he didn't want him to come because he doesn't want Barry to see him in jail.
Which is...
Makes sense.
Seems
like,
fair.
I wouldn't want my own son to see me.
I don't want to see my dad in prison. That would suck.
So, yeah. So, we know that Joe cares about Barry and is taking care of him because of Henry's wishes, even though Joe thinks Henry murdered Barry's mother. So that's the end of the flashback. Iris and Barry meet up again, where Barry confesses his love for Iris while moving super fast, so she's like...
Count. She's like sitting there, and he's like...
Yeah, just moving fast.
And then just sits there.
Yeah, he's just basically moving so fast she doesn't even notice.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of neat.
So then Barry heads back after a phone call from Store Labs, which they have grown a clone because Multiplex can create clones of himself. So they created a clone that was from one of the cells they collected from a crime scene.
And it was basically inert until...
And it was inactive. It wasn't really... It doesn't have its own mind. It's just like a walking...
It wasn't even walking. It was more just like standing there and doing nothing. And then it starts to move and Joe comes in. Pow, pow.
Yes, and he convinces Barry to be the Flash because the police cannot handle what
this guy
Multiplex is.
Yes.
So after Cisco gives him this like protein ball substance, which will cease the disease spells, Barry goes straight to Stagg's labs to take down Multiplex because just like Barry, he has his own limits.
Of course, just like everyone, you can only do something for so long.
And the only way to defeat the clones is by taking out the original, because the clones are like just these...
Or just like kind of like an embodiment of what it is.
They are basically limbs, basically.
Yeah, he's getting weaker every time he generates one. So
if you take out the original, they all go down. So after he gets Stagg out of his labs, Barry tries to tell Multiplex that he doesn't have to kill. But after Multiplex explains that because of Stagg, his wife died because she had a heart condition. And he was trying to clone a new heart for her. But Stagg fired him and stole all of his research.
So while he read the glory, Denton had to
bury his wife.
His best friend, as he says.
Yeah. So Barry takes on all the clones. Then after hundreds of them are coming towards him, he sees the original Multiplex
and just
head straight for it, super fast, and knocks him out. And the clones go down. Then Multiplex gets back up, tries to knock the Flash out, but gets thrown out a window.
It doesn't even look like he got thrown out the window. It looks like he ran out the window, but it was too fast. But you think when the Flash knocked the original out, he would have broken his back.
Yeah, come on, that's like 10 kilometers at least.
That was a 10 kilometer
That's like a truck hitting you.
Especially at the force that Barry can move, and the fact that he hit a steel pole with his spine. You think?
But remember, he can regret. From what we saw when Barry was trying to help him up, he grew another hand. So maybe he could have grown another spine.
Yeah, and then he'd have to work it in. Then he could have.
But Barry couldn't save him because Multiplex grew another hand and forced the Flash to let go. So Multiplex falls to his death. And Barry is upset because he couldn't save him. But Dr. Ware says some people can't be saved.
Yeah. So
all ends where Joe and Barry continue to search for the man in yellow that killed his mother. And that ends the episode. But wait.
Not so fast.
Dr. Ware visits Stagg and tells him
that he is the Flash, or
Webby
will be, gets out of his chair and proceeds to stab him.
And which kills Stagg. And he says, "This is nothing personal.
It's just the Flash needs to be kept safe."
End of the episode. I thought it was interesting. It's kind of like one of those Smallville episodes. Villain of the week. Doesn't really help with the plot. It's just there for Thera. I give it 6 out of 10. I really enjoyed the performances. I thought it was okay written. A bit cliche at sometimes for the villain's motives. What did you think?
I liked it. I mean, I give it a solid 6 out of 10. The performances were great. Acting was great. And only thing that I thought could have been a little better was more on Denton Black or Multiplex than... a bit more on Stagg than there actually was.
Yeah. Well, I'm the Dynamic Dover.
And that's the other films.
Till next time.
It was fun. Say Dynamic Dover.
See you later, Death Dealer Films. I don't know if he realized what was coming for him. See you next time, Death Dealer Films.